Hi everybody and welcome to my Unruly Housewife channel, and today I thought we'd have a bit of a change of pace and I would show you some of the things that I've got stored away in a box in order to one day decorate them, cover them with polymer clay. Some of you will be interested to see that because you don't know what you can cover with clay and put in the oven, and some of you will already know, but you'll still be wondering what's in my stash. And you'll get some ideas hopefully, and some free ideas as well. So let's soldier on. The first thing I'm going to show you actually had kind of on my lap because it's too big to fit in the box, and that is this, which is the inside of a roll of wrapping paper, gift wrapping paper. My hair. And if you're wondering what you can do this, well, you can cut this down to any length you want. It's perfectly safe to put it in the oven. And when you're covering it with clay, you can make things like this little fairy house. And as you can see, it bears a striking resemblance to that tube. So these are really good because they're quite sturdy, and you can chop them up, and as I say, you can choose your length. So that's one thing, that they can go in the oven, nothing's going to happen, it's not going to burst into flames or anything. Polymer clay cooks at really quite a low temperature. Now let's see what else we've got. Pate. My goodness, I've eaten more pate than I really care to imagine. Because pate always seems to come in cool things that you can cover with clay. This jar had pate in it. From Lidl, inexpensive pate. And what I liked about this jar was it has a ridge along it. And if I could show you the one that I've covered, I covered it with little squares. And the great thing about that ridge is that I put it in the oven that way up, and that ridge just stopped the squares from sliding down while it was baking. I actually had a layer underneath and then those on top. And then the ones on top, I just made the little tiles, and then I pushed them into the shape sort of together, and then I got a cutter, a round cutter, and I was able to just put them on top of there, sort of reassemble it in that way, so they don't have anything behind them, and I just decorated the edges. So but it's exactly the same jar as this. So any of these kind of jars that have got a nice little ridge, a nice little shape, a defining edge are very fun to use with clay. It's just really a go through my stash. I mean, I will try and tell you some things, but it's just for fun. Eggs. Blown eggs. You've seen me use eggs for things. I thought I'd show you the contrast. Whoa! I've got a kind of reflective thing here, which is great for the light, but I think I've just knocked it flying. So I'll probably have funny lighting now. I already had funny lighting, doesn't matter. Okay, so eggs. Yep, this is a blown egg, blown out egg. See the little holes in the ends, and there's a tutorial for me making this already on my channel, but I've also done something like this where I've actually built little swirls of clay and leaves and things and assembled that over the egg, which is much more complicated to do but still a lot of fun. So you can use eggs, you can use rolls of paper. What else can you use? Well, you can use dishes. This is one of my favourite dishes. It's for mixing essential oils in, I think. I've never been able to find one the same size because I always get paranoid about it because I use it so much. Now, most of the things I've made with that dish have got little tendrils and leaves and things all on the inside. I've sold them, so I haven't got as many to show you, but I've got this which has got some slices of cane on it that I made. That's just a bit of fun. And what I like to do is make a couple of dishes like this, 2 or 3, 4, I don't know, if I'm in the mood. And this one's textured to kind of look like sand. And those I will use just on a day when I sort of don't really know what I'm going to do. I might think, well, I'll get out some of these little blank dishes and decorate them. What else have we got? Oh yeah, more pate. This is another pate dish. It's from Christmas time, and I got about 3 of these, and every time I finished eating I looked inside and there was like a horrible mark or something, and I didn't use 2 of the but this one is pretty perfect. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Probably decorate around there. That's the only thing about it, is a kind of, you feel like it would be a bit hidden when you decorate it. I don't know. Maybe I should go along the edge as well. I don't know, but that, you see, look, this kind of ceramic-y dish thing is going to be, that's a bit weird. This sort of dish is perfect for in the oven. That can't go wrong. Oh yeah, my heart-shaped dish, 75p in the sale at Asda. And what a boon this little dish has been. I've been able to use it to make moulds, and I made this dish with some texture and a bit of mica powder. I made this dish, which if you look on my batik technique tutorial, it's a very, very simple thing to do with white glue. Check that out, because I made this, and on this one I made a little foot for it as well. And I also made this one, which is more elaborate, which has got a green-blue Skinner blend and some little flowers with beads inside. If you can see that. And a little charm and some leaf canes. And all of those are made and inspired by this dish. And I'm going to be using this dish to do another tutorial a bit later on. Well, hopefully within a week, I hope. But if not, soon. So they're good things to use. I had some... Sorry, I'm rooting around in there. So let me bring it up here. I feel a bit weird, keep disappearing. Like I've still got a crazy hunchback. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, this dish. This is an unusual dish that I picked up at like a flea market or something. And I made this with it, which kind of on the surface of it looks interesting and fun. But ultimately, I decided it was a bit ugly. I prefer the dish I copied it from. But you know, I can use this again, and I can put that behind me. Literally, figuratively. What else? Got something special there I'm going to store up for later. Like I said to you, I was looking for some other small dishes to use, and I found these in a charity shop. They're really, really cheap. And as it was, they turned out a little bit, sorry, I'm smashing the place up here. They turned out a little bit too deep, and I never actually used them. So that was fascinating. But they are there in case I want to use them in future. I also found these little balti dishes, I think they're called. These little dishes. Basically, anywhere I've gone where I've got little dishes on sale or something, if they're metal, ceramic or glass, I will buy them, because they will always come in handy for building things on. This dish here I've built on something, but I cannot for the life of me. Nope. I cannot for the life of me find which one it was, but I built this on a dish, and this has got, it's quite deep, so I decided to decorate the inside. And it's got crystals and little swirls and little plants. These have got toothpicks inside to make sure that they're strong enough and stand up. And this at the bottom is PBO paint, which is interesting. And there's some little beads and things as well. But that's not a mould that you put. I don't know what the mould is for that. I thought it was an example of what I'd use, but it wasn't. These are good. Stilton this time instead of pate. It's all a bit Christmassy, isn't it? These kind of jars are excellent because you've got a nice area here that you can cover up, leaving a lovely sort of clean top. And this you can just cut out with a round cutter, pop the top over, maybe cut a hole out for this. So these kind of jars are just, they're really, really nice to cover. It's all a bit random, I know, but we're going through my stash. Light switch covers, they're good. To cover this is kind of a British one, so not quite the same as an American one. But these sort of covers, you can just put a thin skim of clay on and decorate it to your heart's content and screw it to the wall. These are very, very inspirational. Pressed glass, so from the 50s I think, candlestick holders that I found in a charity shop. Very, very inexpensive, and wouldn't they be so beautiful with like vines and flowers and leaves? Definitely going to do those, but I've been saying that for about a year and a half. Anything like these you can do, you just got to take these little tops off, obviously. They're quite cheap little salt and pepper, so I wouldn't spend years doing them. Because, I mean, if something's not very good quality, then, oops, they're not very good quality lids. There's no point in spending like hours and hours making the sides. But you could definitely jolly these up with a little bit of cane or clay. Little cruet set. What else is in my box? Oh, these kind of vitamin jar things. I don't know about the lids. I presume they're metal. They look metal. Metal can go in the oven. And I mean, again, things that are really quite dull in ordinary life can look great with clay on. Also, these little boxes, I got wedding favours when my niece Michelle got married. I took off the ribbons and things, and I used the boxes. Now, if I was doing it again now, I might try and seal the box with something, or just even with masking tape, because some of the colour came off on the clay and I had to kind of rub it down a bit or something. But I used these boxes to make this, and what I did was I used the box part to build this on, kind of slab built it on the box part. I think you can see the joints there, it's not fantastic. And then I used just a flat piece for the lid, and I made a little insert into it so that it would stay on like that. Because this, I'll just show you it the right way around, because this box, the box lid itself, was far too complicated and not worth the effort. And last but not least, because I'm kind of whipping through these, you don't want to be here all day. If you have any of these kinds of things, plug-ins with perfume in for your to freshen the air in your home, these little bottles, when you pull them out, they're made of glass, and you can take these out, the tops, and decorate them. So this now, it's got some little plaques or whatever they're called in it. Sometimes you get little moons in transparent clay, so it doesn't look perfect. But I got one of these little bottles, covered it in clay, decorated it with some gold clay, and just fashioned a little stopper. And I think I've got a little ball of foil inside there too. And I just kept faffing around with it until it fitted. And look at that, that's quite a sweet little bottle. And you would never think it was free of charge, just based on a little bottle from an Ambipure air freshener. And I mean, you can, this is a bought bottle from a set, you know, from a DIY shop. But I think you'll agree that the free one was just as good and better because it was free. So those are the kinds of things that you can put into the oven. You can put some plastics, some glass. Oh, and of course you can put pens in the oven. And actually, this will be quite funny. Just hold on a sec. Okay, a lot of people ask what kind of pens can you put in the oven. And the cheapest practice answer for people who just want to have fun are these big round stick pens, the grey ones, which you can put into the oven at the temperature you bake your clay. They're not going to melt. I tent them because clay, you're meant to sort of have, you know, the fumes coming off that. It's meant to be fine. Bic, I don't think they bake their pens and, you know, check the health for that. So take this part out, decorate and bake that part, and then put this part back in. This, can't really put it back on because it's going to be too fat. So these pens are perfect for that. Now, so you can put them in the oven. The only thing was, I kept finding them at bargain prices, and I was really enjoying making pens at one point. It's kind of dropped off a bit now. I have all this many pens. So instead of being a bargain, I think if you divided the amount of money I've spent by the amount I've made, it probably cost me about £5 each. So anyway, that was meant to be the last thing was already meant to have gone, wasn't it? But that was the last thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope if you've got any questions, just ask them down below. Give me a big thumbs up, that means. Subscribe, do whatever you like if you enjoyed this video, and do check out some of my other videos. And if you want me to expand on anything you've seen here, do ask, because there's always time, for me to do things like that. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching. Bye!